Okay, so Ghulam, 6 years with JLL trying to create data, and then 5 years at Bank of America, where I became a client of my own REIS product. So I've been on both sides, and I realized where the lacuna is and what do people want, right? All our lives we worried about commercial real estate because it was a smaller market. It is still a smaller market. Malls, there are not more than 50 malls in Bombay. Probably not more than 10,000 offices in Bombay. But look at residential, that's the big brother. And that nobody did. Nobody did it. So when we started CRE Matrix, we said, let's focus on everything. And I think being on both sides of the fence really helped me understand what the B2B customer wants and what the B2C customer wants. Let me throw some questions at you. Okay, and to everybody. Would you, and this is B2B and B2C both. Huh? So one side, let's talk about a bank, and the other side, a home buyer who wants to buy a house or rent a house. You think he knows what rent his neighbor is paying and at what price he bought the house? No, he did not know that. After IndexTap, that answer is possible. The answer is yes. Okay. Now, does Nihar validate and verify all the sales assumptions that Parth would, Parth and Nihar met the other day, right? When we were in a conversation, would Nihar know whatever Parth says is correct? I mean, I will sell X number of houses in X number of period. Very fair. He'll do it. But we need to validate and verify the data. We can do it for them, right? Do Parth and Gopal know how many apartments are sold in Bandra and at what price and who's selling it? No, they would not know it. CRE Matrix and it can happen. Ghulam, yourself, would you know how much is the total value of housing sold in MMR last year? Maybe you know it, but many people don't. CRE Matrix and IndexTap have made this happen. 10 years back, this was a dream, a pipe dream. Now it is a reality. This is disruption. And a very, very prominent Blackstone CEO said, it's better to make no decisions sometimes, and making poor decisions, it can cause a lot of loss of money, right? Especially from an investor coming. So to my mind, this is disruption. And these two brands have taken us 7 years to build where we are today. A lot of rich content is given to the market, and you can just open the app. You can open IndexTap and just go and search for any building. Look at Path's building. It will tell you everything what Path has sold at your fingertips in your pajamas sipping coffee.
So my question is that now connected to that, Abhishek, very valid point. And here it is. The gentleman that you spoke about, a quotable quote, etc. But for last so many decades, ever since the Industrial Revolution came, the work was going on. I'm sure today when you're talking about, perhaps it's more of an efficiency, but what is a big game changer? Not taking a decision was obviously an option for last 7 decades and more, but people did take a decision and also survived and perhaps did better. We are in a situation today when we have all that access to data, and many of the countries are falling by the wayside, inflation and economies falling apart, etc., etc. So where is that logic that you don't take a decision if you don't have the data?
Okay, so I'll answer this question in two real examples. These are real examples. Bank 1 wanted to open a new branch in Powai. They called us and they said, we want to know all the other banks in Powai, what are they paying in terms of rent? Okay, the quote that they got from the landlord was 2x at what some of the other banks were paying. Now, had they gone ahead with that deal without data, God bless them, somebody would have lost their job, right? And I don't want to be rude, but you can imagine 2x for a bank to pay on a 20-year lease would be a lot of money. Right? And banks, you just do the math, 1,000 square feet branch, even if you would have paid, 50, 100 rupees extra, that's a lot of money. This is one example. Second, we get love letters from people who look at the app and tell us, I've looked at your app, I've gone to the landlord and got my rent reduced by 2,000 rupees. A gentleman who's paying 20,000 rupees rent monthly, if he gets his rent reduced by 2,000, that's a lot of money saving for him. And mind it, even the Supreme Court cannot dispute this data because it's coming from the actual registered stamp duty paid document, right? So that is the authenticity and power of data. Now that wasn't there 10 years back. It was all anecdotal. It was all what the developers felt. Yeah, they made wonderful buildings, but they made some wonderful mistakes also. Since I'm pitching to developers, I only have 5 points for them, and I'll try to keep it short. If you want to know what is the appetite of any market, come to us. Okay, you need data. If you want to know who's selling and who's not selling, come to us. You want to know what is the age profile and the income level of buyers, come to us. So we have answers to every question that you were only anecdotally thinking 5 years back, 10 years back, right? And to ensure that the referee Nihar is on my side, going back to his question, now that we have 15 years of data, 15 into 4 quarters, 60, it is statistically sound and we can do predictive analytics as well. I'll rest my case. Parth did mention that the second part he mentioned was he wants to know what's going to happen in the future. Now, the event that Parth mentioned was very black swan, so I'm not going to comment on that. That happens once in a lifetime. I hope it never happens again in my lifetime. But given that we have so much bad data and we have economic indicators, income levels, what people like, dislike also to overlay on our property data, we can attempt doing predictive analytics. I'm not saying that we are there yet because India is still digitizing, as we all know, but at least there's something to look forward to compared to what it was 5, 7, 8, 10 years back. So yes, something is possible. Residential makes it easier because it's far bigger and there's more data available, right? So it's easier to do residential than a mall and a commercial office space.